welcome to Importance TV. My name is Fiston Dashimir, for those who don't know me. And today we are going to discuss about 5 questions that each and everyone has to ask themselves. And today I have a guest who is going to guide us through these questions and maybe prepares for our future. And thank you for watching. Please share this video and like and also subscribe. Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining me on Importance TV.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you. Please introduce yourself to people and tell us a little bit about you.
Thank you so much, Fisto. I'm so proud of you for everything you do.
Thank you.
I know you since you came in United States of America, and I know how much you worked hard.
Thank you.
So I'm not really surprised to see you doing this, because I know when you plan to do something, you do it.
Thank you.
With all your heart and your energy and courage. So thank you so much for doing this, and thank you so much for inviting me today to be your guest. So my name is Clement Kigugu. I am senior pastor of Overcomers Church of God, but I'm also executive director of Overcomers Refuge Services. Right. I am father of 6 children. Wow. Grandchildren, and so many children, including you and others.
Right.
So today, that's pretty much me.
Okay. Thank you so much for your introduction. My first question: how was the youth back then compared to today's youth?
So the back youth, as you said, I grew up in Congo.
Okay.
I didn't grow up in a village, in town, city. So I grew up in village.
Okay.
So where we didn't have cars, so we used to walk mileage back and forth from home to school. And so we didn't have the school like here in the US or other cities where people had food, lunch, breakfast, as you do here at the Concord High School. So we used to wake up so early morning and then go to school,
right,
and stay at school all day and come back evening. So we didn't have electricity, but we were doing our best. We didn't have the computer like you today or internet to do the research. Right. So we used to do everything by hand. And then we have to make sure that we have to come home, do our homework, but also do the other work that the parents were asking us to do.
Okay.
And we're making sure that we do before the sun sleep.
Okay.
Otherwise, we're just using fire to do the homework, or wake up early morning to make sure that we finish our homework. So we really worked hard doing the homework, right, but also to do the other job, helping our parents with the farm and everything else. And in our generation, we really focus on school.
Okay.
So after we graduate from high school, we make sure that we have to go to college, and college was far from where we lived.
Okay.
So we have to go and stay there for a month. Some of us were even taking 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years until you graduate and come back home. So it was very hard, but we were really interested in education than anything else.
So you think it was more hard than today?
It's very hard.
So what do you think is something you think that is easy for us, and what do you regret that you should have back then?
I mean, I don't really regret anything, because that's the situation we're living in.
Right.
So I was living in a village, and we have everything. I mean, we had food and drink and everything else. The only thing that we didn't have is just transportation.
Okay.
But also, having access to many tools that you guys have today. So we didn't have internet. And then I cannot blame myself because, it's a system the way we live in. So we didn't have electricity. So, I cannot regret saying that I should have the electricity. That's really the government's responsibility to provide the electricity and internet to villages or different cities. But I'm pretty sure at that time, even those who lives in town, they didn't have internet. Internet came recently. So compared to people or you guys who are here today, you are so spoiled and you never understand how privileged you are, and what it really make me so, confused or, I don't understand why the youth in this country are not really focused on school while they have everything they need. You go to school, you have transportation for those who do not have cars.
Right.
For those who works, they do have access to, job, and they can pay their cars and pay gas and drive to school.
Okay.
So they have internet, they have books, can do the research, they can go to library and they get the book for free.
It's free books.
Books. We didn't have a library at that time. So, so you have everything you need. So what they are missing, you just focus and understand why they need to do and what they need to achieve. So I don't know if they need more motivation. Okay. But there's also motivation. When you see other people, what they are doing, it should be really a motivation for them to say, I need to do my best to be like other people who have been in this country.
What do you think? How do you think we should solve this problem? Or do you think there's not much resources, or so what's the problem, and how do you think we should fix this issue?
I think the problem I'm talking about the new Americans kids. So they don't have time to sit together and talk. Okay. People learn by experience.
Yeah. My second question is, how did you integrate into American system in order for you to do what you are doing now?
So going back, let me give my background.
Okay.
So when I came in this country, was a few refugees when I came here in Concord. Okay. So everybody were really focused only on working and getting money, because people are excited to work and get the money to buy car, to buy nice clothes, whatever.
They don't have anything that time, so
yes. So when you come here, of course, most of us went through the refugee camp and we didn't have money. Even those who didn't come through the refugee camp, the life was not easy, and we couldn't really carry everything we had back home. So you have to carry whatever you can to come here in US. Okay. So when you start the life, then people were excited to just work and make money. So when I came here, everybody was just saying, oh, you have to look for a job and, make money. Some of them, that was the goal. Okay. So when I came here as the person who is educated and have, professional job back home, of course, working in the office. So when I arrived here, the first job they gave me was to work at Concord Little. So when I had to stand for 8 hours, 5 days a week. So it was very hard for me. Okay. And then, it was hard, and then I say, let me change other job. So when I changed, they applied for me at Walmart. They said, Walmart is an easy job. So when I get there, I have to, they give me a job the way I have to roll truck. Okay. Which was not easy again for me. And it was not really, it helps me to resettle and to, have money. Right. To be able to pay my rent, to restart. Yes. Yeah. But it didn't really help me to learn English.
Okay.
And to be able to move forward.
Okay.
To the next level.
Yep.
To become manager or whatever. Because I did have education at that time.
Okay.
So what I did was I went to second star.
Okay.
So I have to learn from the beginning because I didn't have enough English to be able to change and to apply for the job that I wanted.
Okay.
So I went to second star. Start with the beginner. Those people who didn't even go to school, who start from this, really the beginner. And some of people were telling, how come you go to second star, someone who is educated like you? I said, I knew what I was looking for.
Okay.
So I went to second star. I took the book. I have to learn English through internet, Google and everything else, just to improve my language.
Okay.
And from there, so I changed my career. I took the training to become a medical interpreter. And then from medical interpreter, I became case worker to receive other refugees.
Right.
From case management to employment specialist.
Wow.
From employment specialist, I started my own organization.
Self-employed.
Yes, to become self-employed. And now I'm executive director. I do have other people that work on my organization. So which mean, this shows me like everybody, people just need to, have a goal.
Right.
And dream and work hard to your dream.
Right.
Like yourself, I can, give testimony how you worked hard. Right. I know you. So that's how, the thing changed. Because I said, this is the country, this is the place where I am going to stay. I am not working like someone who's going to go back in 2 years or 3 years.
Right.
So I said, this is the place where I'm going to stay for many years. So I have to work hard to get to what I need.
Right. Your purpose.
Yes. So even today, I am not really satisfied. I still, I'm still planning to have more things. To do, to be self-employed, to, create a job for many people.
Right.
So I still have a dream to keep going.
So as you just told us about yourself coming to the United States until now, I'm not going to ask you a question, but what I'm trying to say is that I think that you mentioned about something about youth, how you see everything's going in the United States, especially in New Hampshire. We really need somebody like you to motivate our youth, to motivate these young people to get into schools. If not, they can start businesses. That's how other people do. Or they can attend Second Start or other organization to be able to get what they need. Some of them has degrees from back home, which are not allowed to be used in the United States. But we know that if you go to school for 2 years or 4 years, you might get your degree translated to a United States degree. And that's true. But they sleep, they keep them far away from them. They don't even think about it. They go to work Monday to Friday or Sunday. I don't know. Some of them work every day. And you find out they're already tired. They mentioned that United States is not a good country for them. It's not even a good country to live in. They don't have a vision, or they don't have a real life, understanding. They have understanding about real life in the United States. So we really need somebody like you who can motivate youth. So, and that's why I have you here.
Yes. So, two things, not only youth, but also everybody else who came from, overseas, Africa or any other country, that has education or no education. So first things that I really advise people, youth and everybody else, is to learn English.
Learn English.
So there's no way
it's necessary.
You can move, from one step to another step. There's no way you can live in, a place like this without language.
Yep.
So I really advise people to learn English.
Yeah.
We have Second Star, which is free.
It's free. And
it's free. People can go there. If you don't have a car, there's a transportation.
Yeah.
There's a bus. There's a Second Star bus. They can pick up people from where they live.
Okay.
For those who work, so they have different classes. They have morning class. They have evening class.
Yeah.
And all levels.
Yeah.
Hampshire has English class.
Yeah.
We have citizen class and volunteer at Overcomers who helps people to learn English and citizenship.
Yeah.
So that's, many ways people can really focus and learn English. Second thing is our people, new Americans, they need to integrate in community.
Okay.
So the issue we have is we have Africa in America.
Okay.
So where African themselves, so they are together from Monday to Friday. To Sunday. So they go to work, they sit together themselves where they work.
Okay.
When they come back home, they just sit together themselves.
So they don't learn from each other.
Exactly. So they never have time to be integrated in the community. You never see the parents or other people going to field to watch kids game.
Okay.
You never see when there's a meeting, for example, many African coming to the meetings.
Okay.
You never see even at Concord High School when they have the kids, how many parents show up in the meetings. Just few of them.
Just few of them.
So when I came in this country, the first things I said, this is my home.
Yeah.
So I have to be there. So I'm in meetings and different things. I volunteer to different organizations.
Yeah.
I am board director of different organizational club.
Okay.
So this shows that this is my home. This is my country.
Right.
This is my city.
Okay.
I have to really contribute as much as I can. So more I, integrate, more I collaborate, more I interact with other people. That's how I learn English, system, and everything else.
Everything else.
Yeah. If there's any opportunity, then they say, hey, Clement, there's an opportunity here. What do you think?
Right.
If that's something that I can do, I do it. So those people who said, I don't have the diploma here in the US, I think they're wrong.
Right.
Myself, I don't have the degree here in the US.
Right.
I use my degree that I get from back home. I just learn English.
Right.
But I have the knowledge behind, that I know, which my experience.
Right.
So, those who really, not having the degree here in the US, that's not the problem. Even those who came with their degree back home, they just need to learn English and be integrated. They can take, training.
Yeah.
If they training and they start their own business, it's just language. For the kids who came here as young, they can go to Concord High School. They have the tutor who help them to do the homework. Yeah. To work through the system.
They have resources.
There's
not any.
There's no really excuse.
Yeah.
And then when they graduate, they go to college. There's many kids who graduate from college here who can help them.
Yeah.
There's help at the, colleges everywhere. They help the student to move forward and to get their degrees. For those who didn't graduate, who came here when they were 21 years old, there's a job corps. They can go to job corps for 2 years, 3 years, and they graduate. They have their GED. Even Second Star has DEG program. So they can go there and get their GED and they continue with the education.
Right.
If they don't have time to continue with the education, there's a vocation training.
Right.
When they can become, to work in a garage, for example. Instead of all the time
it's
just
not a bad
working.
thing.
Yeah. There's many refugees here who bought the car, but they don't know how to fix the car. And then when they go to garage, because they don't understand the English, then it's hard for them to really, get help.
Right.
But if there's anybody, for example, who look for job at the garage and work at the garage and fix the car, you get the money.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. Yeah. It's every day.
Yeah.
So there's nothing, nursing, for example.
Right.
They have been looking for people where they can train them. There's people who drove the truck.
Right.
And you make money.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of opportunities outside here that you can do.
Right.
So they just need to get out from their comfort zone.
Yeah.
And learn. There's a lot of things in this country.
They need to have experience.
Yes.
From where to start.
Yes.
And
yes.
That's a big issue.
Yeah. So, if they don't have information, our organization, for example,
right.
people think it's just it's a place where they can come,
right.
To get help to apply for, benefit or job, but it's also resource. So we have volunteer. It's more than that.
Okay.
We have volunteer that can help, can work with the people, and then they can give them many resources, many information for everything they need. Okay. So we work with different providers, organization and offices here in New Hampshire. They're always looking for job. I mean, people to work,
wow.
But people like to just be, if there's somebody who work at Walmart, I want to work at Walmart too, because I have my friend who work there. But it's good for them to go in different places.
So they choose to work in those places because it is for them to start.
Exactly.
So it's
or they have some, friend who
works there.
As much as they stay in their comfort zone, I'm telling you, they're not going to move forward.
Wow.
But they have to challenge themselves to get out from their comfort zone, and to learn new things.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. My third question is, what's the most thing that you promised to yourself? Most things that you promised to yourself that you're never gonna break, that helped you to go through all the process to be able to be where you are right now. As we know you in New Hampshire, you are the most dedicated person into helping people, helping refugees, newcomers, students. Even though some people don't understand, as you said, they don't understand what's your work, what you help them about. They come to your office asking for one thing. They don't realize there's other doors. What's something that you promised yourself that you're never gonna break?
One thing is overcome.
Okay.
Overcomers.
Okay.
That's why we have Overcomers Church. Right. Overcomers Refugee Services.
Okay.
So, everybody knows that we went through different things.
Yeah.
Through the war, refugee camp, and other circumstances.
Yeah.
That caused us to come in this country. So what my principle is not to really to be overcome by those circumstances. So I have to overcome.
Okay.
Any things that comes on my way. The trauma, this other circumstance, I have to overcome it.
Okay. So you had the vision.
Yes.
You had the vision and your...
Yes. So, and then not really to give up.
Okay.
So when I start something, even though it's hard, but I have to go to push until I get to the edge.
Right.
And the third thing is to help people.
Right.
My, calling, my passion, it's really to help people.
Okay.
So from back home, that's what I was doing. So when I came here, it was like fire in my body.
Okay.
So I feel like I have to really continue. It's not an easy job that we do. There's a people who appreciate. There's other people who complain about us.
Yeah.
Even though we offer free service.
I mean, you're never going to satisfy everybody.
Exactly.
That's the point.
So what we give, it's a free service.
Yeah.
So we don't really call people to come to us. People come to us to help.
Right.
But when they get there, they go, some people really appreciate what we do.
Yeah.
Other people complain.
Right.
But I don't really look for those who complain. I look for what I did.
Right.
And how much I impacted people's life.
Right.
And those who complain, those who said the bad thing to me, I don't care.
It doesn't matter to you.
It doesn't matter to me. And I forget.
Right.
And I forgive.
Right.
I always give example of even those, that are in back home who did bad things to us.
Right.
In this country, there's many people who had, we had different tribe.
Right.
But I never really look to anybody,
Right.
whoever, even if they did bad thing to me, but I still have to continue to help no matter what.
Right.
You know, I remember in the Bible, Joseph said when their brother, his brother came to him and said, you know, after their dad died, they said perhaps Joseph will avenge himself. But
Okay.
Joseph said this was God's plan.
Man.
Yeah. So I'm here too, and knowing that this is really God's plan.
Right. So you're here to help anybody who comes in your way.
Yes.
Doesn't matter if they hate you or they like
It
you.
doesn't matter.
Okay.
If they hate me, I love them.
Right.
And I help them no matter what.
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's important to have principles.
Yeah.
Mostly when you are fighting with something that is strong.
Yeah.
So my fourth question is, what do you think about, youth, especially in Hampshire, and what is the best advice you give to them?
Yeah. I think the advice, as I said, they have to get out from their comfort zone
Right.
and learn English.
Okay.
Continue with the education
Okay.
and really be integrated in the community.
You mean even those who never start school when they come to United States? So you mean you're asking them to go back and start learning?
Yes, as I said, there's a second star.
Yeah.
There's second Hampshire that has English class.
Right.
We do have volunteer program at Overcomers Refugee Services.
Okay.
You know, there's other organization around
Okay.
that can help them to connect with the receiving community.
Yeah.
If they don't have time to go to second star, they can have a volunteer that are committed to teach them at least, 2 hours, 2 times a week.
Okay.
It doesn't matter if they're just committed, they can really learn English. It's a shame to see a young man or woman who's, looking for service and cannot really speak English. When they have been here for 5 years, 7 years, or 10 years.
Right.
You imagine going back to Africa, to the airport and
you're still
looking somebody to help you to translate.
Right.
When you're coming from America.
You're American, but you don't know how to speak English and you're asking for services.
It's a shame. Right. I understand some people didn't have a chance to go to school.
Right.
But at least, the language.
Right.
You can learn language outside. You speak. If you don't know how to write, we still, somebody can help you to write. But at least express yourself in English.
Right.
And there's opportunity. There's no way you can say, there's no excuse.
Right.
As I said, if you have time, you can go to Second Star, to Job Corps, or to Hampshire, or to Overcomers to get a volunteer to help you. So there's no excuse, really.
Right.
People has, that's one thing. Second thing, even if I said, they have to get out from their comfort zone, they never have time to sit together and exchange their experience.
Right.
You saw last time when you invite them to come to meet with the senator, how many people show up? Few of them. They're not interested.
Even leaders, I was expecting leaders to show up.
Exactly. So there's a program. There's a program the city of Concord organized, or Chamber of Commerce, to, there's a leadership academy where they teach people about New Hampshire and different things. When they send invitation, nobody responds. When there's the training that you took last time organized by the city of Concord.
The Civics Academy.
Civics Academy. How many people show up?
No, just 2 people.
That's 2 people.
Yeah.
So there's a bank, like Bango, for example.
Right.
Invited the people to teach them how to manage their money, the credit and loan, stuff like that.
Right.
Who show up? Few people.
Yeah.
So they just feel like, oh, I have a job, I have to keep working. So you will keep working and working the same job years and years and years and years. But even if you keep the same job, but still, you need to understand the American system. Yeah. So for them to understand this American system, they have to get out. Yeah. So the other thing is when they graduate, for example, I really advise them to go to different companies and organizations here in Concord and look for the internship.
Okay.
So now when you do the internship, for example, to any organization, you will learn from there with your experience. They may take you,
right,
after when you graduate. Yeah. So that's the other thing that I really advise youth in New Hampshire to consider. Yeah. Not just focus on, I don't know.
They only focus on jobs. We know that.
Yeah.
So how New Hampshire compared to other states? I know you travel a lot. You go to different states. You understand how they do stuff out there. How New Hampshire is compared to other states?
I always said, there's, each state is different from another state.
Okay.
But I would just say New Hampshire because, New Hampshire is a very small state.
It is.
It is a small state.
Yeah.
Even if the life here, it's not easy, especially in terms of housing and stuff like that. But, from my experience, the New Hampshire are really very good community that are willing to help people.
Okay.
As I said, as soon as the new American goes out and be integrate, they will have more connection.
Right.
Even if you can move to another state, when you move to another state, when you already have experience, that it's really a good thing to do than just, living without any,
right. So there's much, opportunities, but they don't give that, a credit to go out and, do something about it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. So my fifth question, which is the last but not least. I know you are a pastor. I understand that, and I believe that, and I respect that. And I know that pastor focuses more on the spiritual life. My question is, what is your point of view, or what do you think about youth who are talented in different ways, especially sports? Like me, I like sports. I do sports. That's something that pushed me into doing different things. You become active, and also there's different stuff they do out, not in churches. And on my focus or in my experience, I think that we need to get motivated by our leaders. And if you are a pastor, you are the leader because you hold people in your church and they listen to you. So if I listen to you and have a different talent that I use out in the not in the church, what's your point of view on that point? Yeah.
So to be honest, the pastors focus on spiritual life.
Yeah.
But also we focus on other things.
Right.
That's why, I work for Overcomers Refugee Services.
Yeah.
Because I know that both goes together.
Yeah.
So the spiritual life, would be hard to manage people on a spiritual life if they don't have, other life.
Right.
So which means if people are working, making money, they provide for their physical need.
Okay.
So it's easy to teach them about the spiritual life.
Right.
And that's why even Jesus himself said, if you cannot walk, then you're not going to eat.
Okay.
So Jesus encouraged people to walk. Himself, he worked hard. He worked hard. Day and the night.
Yeah.
He used to work all day. And the night, he goes to the mountain to pray, to have strength from his Father. So that's why everybody else, we need to work hard and also pray.
Right.
For in terms of youth, Jesus or God is not against sports.
Okay.
So God encourages us to do everything we can. And God will bless whatever we are focused on it.
Okay.
That's why, when he asked Moses, when Moses was asking, and he said, what do you have in your hand?
Right.
He said, I have a stick. You say use it. So if you have something
Right.
and you respect God and you ask God to, provide, God
Right.
will help from what you have.
Mm-hmm.
So when you do sports, do it by respecting God.
Okay.
And I don't think there's rules or instruction that the coach gives that is against God's commandment.
Okay.
The coach teach you how to manage your time,
Mm-hmm.
but also to respect the rules.
Okay.
So if you respect the rules when you do the sport, then shows that you can even respect the church, the leaders in church and everything else.
Okay.
So God and the church and the pastor are not really against the sport. If you can say even in church, I always pray for the talents.
Okay.
So do everything by respecting God.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you think everybody has to do everything they do, but they have to
Yes.
make sure they do it in a spiritual way.
Do whatever you like.
Okay.
Not against the God's commandment.
Understand now.
Okay. And God's not against the sport. God's not against the job that we do every single day.
Right.
Just God need us to do what we are doing in the right way.
Right.
So when the coach asking you to do something,
Mm-hmm.
do it.
Okay.
So when you break the rules, then you break God's rules.
Right.
So yeah.
So I understand and I believe that God has given us this world to control it,
Mm-hmm.
to have dominion in it.
Yes.
I mean, not dominion over people, dominion over all the things we have.
To manage to manage the earth.
Yes, to manage the earth.
Mm.
So, seeing what we see, like most in the United States, that stuff that we don't have back home, and seeing how Americans or people who were born here, how they manage all the things they have. Even clothes. You mentioned this once you talked to me and you mentioned about clothes. Even these clothes that are not being used, they can turn them into different stuff, and those stuff can be used to other purposes.
Mm-hmm.
So this question, I'm trying to focus on this question.
Mm-hmm.
We understand that this country is built on their background or their hard work or technology, education, and you can never become a doctor if you're not an educated person, or you never go to school. You can never be a doctor, or you can never be an electrician if you never went to school. You can never become a sportsman or a sports woman if you never attend teams or groups or. So what I'm trying to say is that when we were talking about the fourth question about New Hampshire youth or youth in general, seeing how they do stuff, they're not committed into different stuff. The reason why I asked this question, because you are the leaders that we have, pastors, spiritual fathers. You are the leaders that we have, that we trust, mostly when we immigrate in these countries. The reason why I asked this question is that can you be able to motivate everybody? Maybe give them activities, show them that you support them. If I do sports, or if I'm a doctor, or I do different things, can you show me that you support me? Can you be there for me into sports or into doctor activities, not just preaching or
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's why I said again, I focus on spiritual, but also with other things.
Okay.
That's why I started, Overcomers Refuge Services.
Okay.
Is to be able to help people through other things, not just spiritual activities.
Yeah.
So in terms of helping other people, other things than spiritual, that's something I really even recommend to pastors from Africa to be also educated.
Okay.
You cannot teach what you don't know.
Yeah.
So they also need to learn the American system to be able to guide the church members. Otherwise, it would be hard for them to direct them or to advise them because they don't know also, the system. But also the big issue or the big barrier that we have is people that even if you try to advise, there seems like they're not really interested or understanding what you're trying to tell them. Because I was listening to somebody this morning to show, and the guy was saying, if you speak to somebody and people show, somebody show that he's listening or she's listening, you continue to tell them. But if you are talking to somebody and somebody seems like he's not interested, then you need to be quiet. Even though, myself and my organization, our focus is to educate, empower, and engage. So we educate you and we give you the tools and we ask you to be engaged, to use the knowledge you get from us, the tools we give you, and shows that you can do yourself. So which means if people are willing, then we can really help them, educate them, and give them the tools. The resources are everywhere, and then they can be able to move on their own. So the focus is people to be independent and self-sufficient.
So you mentioned about youth come together. So you said that they don't come together. We don't come together and talk about the issues that we have. So if we do our best to come together, can you be one of the people that will be there for us?
Of course.
In different ways.
Of course. So before the COVID-19, we had a youth program. So where we were meeting, I think you remember last time we were there too. We had different activities and we invite people, the speaker, the keynote speaker, to be there, and they can discuss different topics. Or we can invite the police officer or any other person to come and discuss about the topic they're interested with. And I take this opportunity to invite youth. So we are organizing New American Talent. New American Girl Talent. So we invite you as your important TV to be there.
Be there.
Be there. And everybody else who is listening to us today, I'm inviting you to come. And then this answer your question as a pastor. Can you also, support other talents? So that's what I'm trying to really promote.
That's what we need in this community.
We're trying to promote people in the community. There's a people who knows how to sing. There's people who has different talent. So this is the time for people to show what they know, what they can do. And from there, who knows, that's how they get picked up by those, shows or whatever. So I invite all youth, those who knows how to sing, to play piano, dance, and everything else. Come.
I'll be there.
And then, I don't know how it's going to go, but for sure will be a prize, to pay whoever is going to win. And that's, New American Got Talent.
Thank you so much. And I appreciate your time. This is the end of my interview with you. Thank you so much for attending my YouTube channel or studios. And thank you for talking about all the questions that I asked you. It's a hard thing to do to make sure we motivate youth, but I think you might go somewhere. So you are the one of the people that already done something big in this community. So, and we expect more from you.
Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate what you do again. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
And keep going.
Thank you.
Keep going. When you start something, people may think, he's not going to go anywhere. But it's like, we came from a place where we used to grow. the plant, corn, potatoes and everything else.
Right.
So when you are planting,
Mm-hmm.
you never know, the result until you get to the harvest period.
Yeah.
Even though you put the seed in the ground, and you go back, you slip. You never know which one will grow.
Yeah.
But we continue to, put the water and put the necessary, and until you really harvest. And when you get to the harvest, that you realize that my effort was really not useless.
So be patient.
Be patient and keep going. Don't be discouraged by anybody.
Right.
Just focus on work on your goal and your vision, and you'll get there.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.